Shalom, shalom. This is Brother Adah. Before I get this lesson / report started, I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakakadash, and I want to give double honor to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone of whom I learned from, and a shalom to the hopefully elect brothers taking this truth to the four corners of the earth, bidding the hopeful elect of Yasharallah to the marriage supper of the Lamb, who is Yahushai. This is a very long video, but it's got a lot of information in it, so I'm going to record the whole thing on this lesson, and I'm going to bring out a couple of precepts. Let me see, let's just do this real quick. I'm going to title it, I'm going to head it with this one. I pulled them up prior just so I could, so they shall make their own tongues to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. This is talking about what's happening with Esau, the so-called white man, how there are all these Edomites on the bottom and in the system of Esau's kingdom, and they're seeing everything that the upper echelons of the elites are doing, and now it's this sword that Esau has. It's now also turning upon his own people. And so you got a bunch of Edomites in the system who are not maybe wicked elites, but they're still Edomites, and they're seeing what their own countrymen are doing, and they're sounding the alarm. And that's what this goes into. It also goes into the revealing of the method when the actual wicked elites, through Hollywood movies and media and press, where they actually do what's called the predictive programming, where they show you something in a coded sense, and then you see it take place in an actual reality years or months later. That's them trying to be like the Most High, as it mentions in Isaiah chapter 14. But this precept is the main one. Job 13:4. But ye are forgers of lies, ye are all physicians of no value. This is probably what I'm going to title the lesson. So I'm going to go back to the video. Listen to what this man is saying about the vaccines.
Every year of your whole life.
Only vaccines.
It's the only one. Flu vaccines. Every year starting at 6 months old till you're buried.
So why?
Great business model. Right.
Yeah.
You need this every single year for your entire life starting at 6 months old. So I decided I'm going to do a real thorough deep dive into the flu vaccines.
Yep.
Can you guess the number of branded flu vaccines on the CDC schedule in America?
I wouldn't even have an idea.
Yeah, I don't even know.
So there's 9.
9, okay.
Hey,
Very
that's
good. That was very close. So there's 9 flu vaccines, all brand names, and I decided to go look at the CDC's own document. Everybody at home should go get it or go watch the Dr. Artist show. There's a document titled Vaccine Excipient Summary Appendix B on cdc.gov's website.
Can you spell excipient?
Excipient. E-X-C-I-P-I-E-N-T.
That wasn't for me. That was for some of our listeners.
That was for me,
I already
actually.
knew y'all knew it. I already knew. You named your child Excipient. I know. Your grandbaby. Your next grandbaby will be named Excipient.
I'm sitting here thinking excipient. How do you spell? I got that.
Vaccine Excipient Summary. Appendix B. So this is for 2024 flu shots, and all shots, actually. They have an entire PDF that you can just download for free. That is every added ingredient into all the vaccines.
Okay.
So by name, by category, they got all the ingredients they put in there. So let me run through one of these, okay?
Okay.
So I found this shocking. Of the 9 flu vaccines, the first 3 listed have an ingredient in it called hydrocortisone. Now,
Like you put on your skin?
yes. So also, if someone goes in with joint pain, elbow pain, they will inject you with hydrocortisone
Right.
to relieve the pain. Yeah, so hydrocortisone is in the flu shot. For definition and context, hydrocortisone is what's called a corticosteroid.
Okay.
Can you name another corticosteroid? Prednisone.
Okay.
So prednisone and hydrocortisone are the exact same drug. All right.
Oh, really?
Does anyone in the world watching this know what a published benefit of administering a corticosteroid like hydrocortisone or prednisone is to the human body?
As pain relief.
Pain relief.
Does it get rid of swelling?
Yeah, there's another big one. So they'll tell you this is anti-inflammatory,
Yeah.
reduces pain. The only other thing it does is it's an immune suppressant. So
I'm not a scientist, but why?
Oh, yeah, what?
So steroids, by definition, shut off your bone marrow's production of white blood cells to fight any future infections. My question for you is this. Are flu vaccines being marketed to you and promoted to you to boost your immune system or suppress it?
Well, it's supposed to be boost.
It is marketed to you to boost your immune system against a future flu virus.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's actually suppressing it.
They have a immune suppressor drug as an ingredient in that shot. 3 of them. So you should know what those 3 are.
Yes.
Also, did you know I decided to look it up one day on a plane while I was flying between events 3 weeks ago? And Jen goes, I said, honey, look at this. It's got hydrocortisone in these 3 flu vaccines. And she goes, why would they put that in there? And I said, watch this. I looked up, this is not a joke. While she's watching me on a plane, I typed in Google, what is the published injuries of hydrocortisone in mouse studies?
Okay.
Why? Because all mice are mammals. They have every organ we do. Skeletons just like us, all organs. That's why they always investigate human drugs and animals before they give it to you.
Yep.
What does it do to these animals?
Yeah.
Now let's go give it to you.
Right.
Okay. The very first sentence in the first NIH published study reads, hydrocortisone insults on the body in mice. Okay, this is the title. Okay. The first sentence reads, it is well established that hydrocortisone injected into young people, not mice, young people, causes spinal column disorders. They start injecting our children at 6 months old with these shots every year. They even tell you your kid might need 2 every year.
Well,
inject them with that. Okay, what's
and
the
if you're
spinal?
Travis Kelce for the Chiefs, you should get your Pfizer booster and the flu the same day. So
Yeah.
two for one.
Sick. For $20 million.
He and Taylor Swift, boom.
So let's talk about just a couple. Spinal column. That's your spinal column disorders. You ever heard of scoliosis?
Oh, yeah.
That's a spinal column disorder. You ever heard of spina bifida?
Oh, yeah.
That's a spinal column disorder, and they know that's a published side effect in young people.
And young people, and they're putting the flu
And they're putting that in 3 of the flu shots of the 9. A third of them have this hydrocortisone in it. All right, now, one of them I was shocked to find, the first ingredient added into it, on the vaccine excipient summary on the CDC's website, it reads, Medine Darby canine kidney cells is the first ingredient. Okay, Medine Darby canine kidney cells.
Okay.
All right, so what's canine mean?
Dog.
Dog. So now you know there's dog kidney cells in a flu vaccine.
Those are in the shot.
That's the first ingredient in the shot. All right, so I have a question for you.
I love my dogs, but
So there's a couple things. I had some questions here. I wanted to know, what in the world is Medine Darby?
Yeah.
It's called Medine Darby canine kidney cells. I know it's a dog kidney cells, but what's a Medine Darby? I've never heard of that reference.
Right.
So I typed in Google, what is Medine Darby? Do y'all know what dog that is? Y'all are not judges of dog shows?
No.
You don't know them all?
I just know the top 5. I don't know.
All right, so Medine Darby is Cocker Spaniels. So this
Cocker
is
Spaniels, okay?
Cocker Spaniel kidney cells are in your flu shots. Okay, so now I have a question for you. Do you know why they put Cocker Spaniel kidney cells in there? Because I looked it up.
The only I know is they get startled, the doorbell rings, they tend to pee on the floor a lot. That's all I know about Cocker Spaniels.
That's awesome. So if you want bladder incontinence,
Exactly.
you need the flu shot with the Medine Darby kidney cells in it. All right, so I looked it up. I want to know, why did they select these Cocker Spaniel kidney cells to put in flu vaccines?
Yeah.
And it states, of all cells studied in nature, the Medine Darby Cocker Spaniel kidney cells, by all cells found in nature, when they evaluate the infectivity of the flu virus in cells of all mammals in the world, the most easily infected cells on Earth are Cocker Spaniel kidney cells.
You have got to be kidding me.
No, I'm not joking. I did a whole presentation on to show the whole world. Okay, so now you've got hydrocortisone in some of these flu vaccines that shuts off your immune system. Oh, that's rocking. Then you got another one, the fourth one, that has Cocker Spaniel kidney cells that they published. The reason why they have that in there is because there's no other cell on Earth that's easily infected by the flu virus than that one. So why does every 6-month-old need that one?
Great question.
It makes it easier for you to get infected, and they shut down your immune system.
Oh, man.
That's not even the worst of all of it, actually.
No.
These are just 2 out of like 50 ingredients I have dissected and have gone through. They have formaldehyde in 5 of the 9 vaccines. You know what formaldehyde is? Used for ever?
Well, preserving.
Embalming dead people.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so why would you put formaldehyde that actually fossilizes your cells permanently for life. Why would you inject that inside a baby starting at 6 months old and every year for the rest of your life? They have an ingredient called polysorbate 80 in 7 of the 9 vaccines. Polysorbate 80, they publish, is only added to vaccines to assist punching holes in the blood-brain barrier to deliver what other additives are in the shots, which aluminum's in all of them, mercury is still in all of them, and I show the whole world. In fact, they tell you the mercury, which is in 2 of the 9 of them, it's on there. I show them. I did a whole show on just this mercury.
Okay, you have to go to thebrianartistshow.com. It's a 4-part thing, right?
Yeah, so I've already done 3. Yep.
See the 3, he's coming out with the 4th.
Yep. I'm actually going to produce a booklet for everybody in the world to be able to purchase and have in your purse so that anybody on earth has ever told your grandbaby or you or your child needs a flu shot.
Be like,
You're going to pull out the booklet and you're
Look at
going to read the questions in order.
Yep.
For example, hey, Doc, you just told me I need a flu shot. Can you name any of the 9 flu vaccines?
Yeah.
By brand. Good. Which ones do you carry? Do you
Yeah.
tell me?
That'd be a fair question of your mechanic if you're adding an oil additive on my truck.
yeah, what do you use?
And then when they tell you which one, if they have one that they know of, they go back in the back and they'll tell you, oh, we have flu cell vax, which is one of them with the Medine Darby cells in it.
Okay.
We got that one. Your next question should be great. You have flu cell vax vaccines for the flu. Hey, Doc, can you tell me 3, just 3 of the ingredients inside that flu shot you're telling me I need?
Out of the 50 or whatever.
Just give me 3. I need 3. I'm looking at the list. Can you tell me 3? And when they look at you and say, I don't know any, you know more than they do.
Oh, my God.
You walk out and then go like this. The next question will be like this. Well, if you don't know any of the 3 vaccine ingredients, can you explain to me why the one you're wanting to give me that you said in the back room has Cocker Spaniel kidney cells in it? And can you explain to me how that helps boost my immune system against a flu? Just to square this off for all of you at home, what organ in the human body is most infected when you get the flu? In fact, eventually, for many, it might lead to a viral pneumonia situation. What's the organ? It's your lungs.
Your lungs? Oh, man.
Can you please explain to me why it is they chose kidney cells from a Cocker Spaniel to prevent you from getting a lung infection?
Great question.
It is so messed up.
It's messed up.
We're going to create this little booklet, and I'm going to pump it out to the world like flu vaccine for dummies.
Yeah.
And for dumb MDs.
What about like autoimmune diseases? Do you think it has anything to do with the amount of autoimmune diseases we have right now?
Oh, this is important. What's the very first shot every American baby is told you have to get before 12 hours go by being born in America? Do you know?
Hepatitis B?
Hepatitis B vaccine. Do you know the first ingredient in the hepatitis B vaccine is called MRC-5? And do you know what MRC-5 stands for? It's code for something. Take MRC-5 and plug it into Wikipedia. Very first paragraph reads, MRC-5 are cells derived from the lung of a 14-week-old baby Caucasian male that was murdered being aborted out of its mother in 1966. And those lung cells are what are in the hepatitis B vaccine. First ingredient. My question for you is, does anyone at home know what organ hepatitis affects and infects?
Is it the lungs?
No.
Kidneys?
Hepa is Latin for an organ. Do you know what it is?
No.
The liver. So hepa is Latin for liver. So hepatitis, titus is inflammation of in Latin.
Okay.
Liver inflammation.
Oh.
Hepatitis A, B, C, they only affect the liver. I'd like to know, why did you put abortal fetal tissue from a Caucasian male ripped out of its mother's womb in 1966 and murdered? Why are you putting lung cells of that baby boy
Brand new baby.
inside of a brand new baby? The reason why they use DNA from the cells of other humans and other animals in vaccines is to trigger an autoimmune reaction. Now, I'm going to set this up for everybody.
I feel sick.
This is to make you aware. This is the autoimmune industry complex. Inject people without them asking or knowing DNA from other species and other humans into their body. You will wreck their immune system and create autoimmune diseases for life. Do you want to know how I know it?
No.
Real simply. Have you ever heard of a person getting an organ transplant?
Sure.
Yes.
Name an organ that they like to transplant.
Kidneys.
Kidneys are a good one. Yep. Kidneys, liver, hearts, right? You get all these, right? Lungs for pulmonary fibrosis. They have lots of organs they do transplants from. When a person you've ever known gets an organ transplant, that organ is coming from another human.
Yeah.
So they're finding someone who died or has sacrificed their own organ, and they're going to put that organ inside of your body. Let's give the kidney, for example. When they do that and they wake you up from the surgery, they then immediately prescribe to you 10 to 15 drugs for life that are called anti-rejection drugs.
Okay.
Your immune system's going to reject the organ and kill it. Why? Your immune system knows it ain't yours.
Foreign, yeah.
So it's going to go attack it. After it creates antibodies that totally destroy that organ, if you weren't on those drugs, that organ that you just received from somebody else has the DNA structure of kidneys. Guess what happens after it gets done attacking that kidney? It's going to be, those antibodies are floating around your body looking for what?
Kidneys?
Kidney cells, kidney tissue. They are going to then start attacking your kidneys, and you will develop autoimmunity of your kidneys, chronic kidney failure, and you will be on dialysis for life.
Jeez.
The body, we know, will reject and destroy any tissue that's foreign that isn't your DNA. This is a great design by God, by the way. Don't put other DNA in your body.
Right.
So now you put Cocker Spaniel DNA inside of a 6-month-old. You put hepatitis B inside of a 12-hour-old baby.
Yeah.
And you set them up for autoimmune diseases lifelong. This is why you get juvenile rheumatoid arthritis, juvenile diabetes, SIDS. Why did you get all these conditions of autism? This is
So
what
many
they're
more
doing.
diseases malfunction. Like autoimmune diseases are something that you just don't hear, but now it's like everybody. It's common. You're everywhere.
Oh, everybody in the audiences, have you ever wondered why it is so many children and adults are allergic to eggs? 7 out of the 9 flu vaccines have what's called ovalbumin, or by name egg protein. Well, I looked that up. I wanted the world to see, why is there egg white in every one of these flu vaccines? Egg whites.
In the flu vaccine.
In the flu vaccine, 7 of the 9. So I looked it up. I wanted to know what eggs
It's
did
not
this come
angel
from.
food cake.
I want to know what eggs, what egg whites from what animals are inside these flu vaccines. All right, so for the first 70 years of vaccine production, they were actually cultured in chicken eggs. They would actually inject. Judy Mikovits used to make them, vaccines at the NIH, injecting the substrate into chicken eggs to culture whatever it is they're trying to grow, that they then put in a syringe and inject inside of you. Any chicken egg protein they inject inside of you as a baby, you will develop lifelong egg allergies to. Just so you know, in the last 20 years, it's no longer chicken eggs.
What is it?
It's snake eggs.
Oh, you're kidding.
90% of all vaccines are manufactured in China, and look it up. There's documentaries about this all over. They're called Chinese snake villages, and they just culture snake eggs for the pharmaceutical giants in China to manufacture 90% of all of our vaccines that we receive in America.
What is the deal with snakes?
So chicken DNA, snake DNA. Do you want to know why there's so much autoimmunity, so many actual disease states, chronic illnesses in Americans? You're injecting foreign DNA that doesn't belong to you into you. And as long as you stay ignorant and blissfully happy to follow blindly the faith of your white coat authority figures, who don't know anything either, these little booklets will be very powerful. And I want everybody buying them and then giving them to their MDs after they can't answer your questions because none of them have a clue.
Can we get you back on when the book comes out?
You better believe it.
Cover this because
we're going to do it for all vaccines. The flu one's going to be first.
I don't even do any more interviews. I'm done.
We do run a national days, weeks of it, and it's, everywhere you go, every billboard, Walgreens, CVS, get your flu shot.
I'm going to buy one of these books for Travis Kelce and send him a box
Yeah,
of
no
them.
kidding.
Can I say one other thing before we go?
Of course.
Yeah, I can't be more sick and disturbed than I am now, so go ahead.
So my presentation here a few minutes ago was totally different than anything I've done. I decided to show the world who was the real target of the pandemic called COVID. So I put it up. The American Diabetes Association just published that 40% of all COVID-19 deaths in America were in diabetics only. That's the largest percentage of anybody who died from COVID are diabetics worldwide. So I put up on the screen, the American Diabetes Association admits that 40% of all COVID deaths came from diabetics. All right, so let's introduce you to American Diabetes Association's mission statement and how long they've been around.
How long?
Since 1939 is when they were founded. And their mission statement is, we provide research to manage, cure, and prevent diabetes. That's their mission statement. So I went like this. How are they doing after 84 years?
Where were we at in 1939?
So we just finished 4 years, and almost half everybody that died were diabetics in America. Okay?
Yep.
All right. So how are they doing with their prevention and cure of diabetes? They've been researching for 84 years. I put up on the screen a chart that the American Diabetes Association shows that in 1980, 41 years later after that organization was set up and collecting donations and research for diabetes to cure it and prevent it, I showed in 2010 they published a bar graph that there was 5.5 million Americans with diabetes in 1980.
How many?
There was 5.5 8.5 million Americans with diabetes in 1980.
Okay.
They show it all the way to 2010. 2010, it's 21 million Americans are diabetics. And then I showed what is it right now in 2023. It's actually 38.4 million now. That's almost double in 13 years.
Yeah,
the whole chart just goes straight like this. So I showed the numbers and I said, this is an organization committed for 84 years to prevent and cure diabetes. Are they working? Are they figuring it out?
Yes.
And then I showed that the World Health Organization just published that in the next 27 years, they expect 1.31 billion people on Earth to be diabetic, which these people didn't know it, and y'all don't either. Right now, there's only 500 million. They expect 2.5 times that in the next 27 years. So I went like this. All right, so you're an organization. For 84 years, you've been researching and creating products to cure and prevent diabetes. How well are they doing after 84 years? And I wanted to know, since 2010 to now, 2023, how much money has been donated to the American Diabetes Association?
That's a great question.
Suck at curing diabetes. That's exactly what I put on the screen. How much have they been given to suck 100% at preventing COVID or preventing diabetes? So I put up every single Form 990 from the IRS, which they declare all revenue given to the American Diabetes Association every year since 2010. And I showed every single one of them and highlighted in red. Look at the red square. This is the amount of money donated every year. 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. And then I showed the total.
And?
The total is $2.5 billion has given to the American Diabetes Association.
Oh my God.
In the same time frame, they have doubled the amount of diabetes in this country.
You know, there's not a lot of, you can be an NFL coach, not win a game every year, and keep getting raises.
No.
And then I showed them. The American Diabetes in 1939 said they're committed to preventing and curing diabetes. How close are they? And I put up the American Diabetes Association's website, and it says, what is a cause of diabetes and the cure? It actually says, there is no known cure for diabetes, period. I showed them the world. I said, wait a minute. We've been giving this organization for 84 years billions of dollars to solve one problem. And then I said on the screen, how many of you do you think would be paid by your employer for 84 years to solve a problem specific to your audiences and customer base, and you never came up with a solution for 84 years? Would you still have a job?
No way.
And they all said, you would be fired. That was the next thing on the screen. Nope, you would be fired. You wouldn't have a job. So this is when I showed them how much money they've been given. Then I showed a list. Currently, the medical profession actually has a list of all incurable diseases they know of. And on that list is cancer. So my last part of this presentation was, well, if cancer is still not curable, how long has the American Cancer Society been investing donations and research to look for a cure for cancer?
What year?
They started in 1913.
Really?
And then I showed just the last 3 years worth of donations to the American Cancer Society, who publishes There Is No Cure for Cancer. I just showed them. It is $4.5 billion have been donated in the last 3 years alone to a cancer organization who has no effing clue yet how to solve the problem. They've created an organization to research. So I set up on the screen, and everybody watching at home.
I'm going to stop it there for the second time. You can see the fraudulence, the wickedness, and the deception of this race of people, the so-called white man, known in prophecy in scripture as Esau, Edom. And any other nation, because you did mention China, and we know that China is Moab. Any nation that teams up with him also gets judgment. Let's see if I can find it. I'm going to go into Second Esdras. Second Esdras 16, I believe. Second Esdras 16. I was just reading it. Let me see. Is this is Second Esdras? Yeah. So Second Esdras, gotta go down to 16. So this is so if you look at this right here, this is a prophecy. We know that the majority of the prophecy is focused on at Esau's destruction, but this Moab's mentioned in here too. Woe unto you, Babylon and Asia. It's talking about Moab. Woe to you, Egypt and Syria. Bind on, and it also touches base or connects with what we know about in Psalms 83. All the nations that have been confederate with Esau, the wicked elite members, those families that are in these other nations that are in cahoots with Esau behind the scenes. This is pointing them out. Bind on sackcloth and cloth of goat's hair, and wail for your children, and lament for them, for your destruction is at hand. Why? Because you just saw what was said in that video, man. The things they've been doing behind the scenes, and whatever they're doing, it's on a global scale. So that means it's touching all the Israelites, because we've been scattered to the four corners of the earth. We're in Moab. We're all over, wherever Esau is. We're there. We're everywhere because we were scattered. Therefore, when Esau releases a global type weapon, a sword that touches all four corners of the earth, he's touching the Israelites, man. The sword has been sent upon you, and who is there to turn it back? A fire has been sent upon you, and who is there to quench it? Calamities have been sent upon you, and who is there to drive them away? Can one drive off a hungry lion in the forest, or quench a fire in the stubble once it has started to burn? Can one turn back an arrow shot by a strong archer? The Lord, Yahweh, sends calamities, and who will drive them away? Fire will go forth from his wrath, and who is there to quench it? He will flash lightning, and who will not be afraid? He will thunder, and who will not be terrified? The Lord will threaten, and who will not be utterly shattered at his presence? The earth and his foundations quake. The sea is churned up from the depths, and its waves and the fish with them shall be troubled at the presence of the Lord and the glory of his power. Okay? So it's just going into the destruction of these nations who are doing this stuff. And again, for the sake of time, I just want to pull out a couple more precepts, and then I want to be done. But you guys saw everything that guy was said. So this is Revelation 6:4. This is talking about Esau, right? We know it's talking about Esau because look, and there was another horse. A horse is a symbol for power that was red, and the reason why the horse is red is because Esau's color is red, and power was given to him that sat thereon. He's seated in power. He's in rulership to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill another that was given, and there was given that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. What's this sword? It's the ICBM missiles, it's the guns, it's the projectiles, it's the biological weapons, it's these so-called jumper shots, jump shots. It's his media, it's his propaganda, his ability to lie the way he can lie, how he can enchant through the press and the radio, and then now the television, and now the internet. Everything he's been doing has been lying. And we know that this red horse is talking about him, because right here in Genesis 25 and 25 it says, and the first came out red. He was the firstborn. Jacob and Esau are born to the same mother and father, Isaac and Rebekah, I believe, and I know that Isaac's the father. Let me hold on. So now that they said that, I need to prove that. Slovakia, because I don't want to guess at that. Genesis 25 verse 25. We got to be sure in everything that we're saying, so go back, boom. Hold on. Okay, yes. So right there, verse 20, I just wanted to make, because I said, I believe, and then that could cause someone to doubt. So verse 20, and Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife. So Rebekah and Isaac had Jacob and Esau, right? And so when they were born twins, fraternal twins, and the first came out, and it describes how he looked, and the first came out red all over, like he wasn't hairy, he was like a hairy garment, and the hairy garment goes into the badger skins that would be dyed red amongst the Israelites in their tents. So you would have to be familiar with the heritage and the culture of the time of the ancient Israelites to understand this riddle or this description, because people confuse it. They he came out red and hairy. No, he wasn't hairy. He's a newborn baby. He was pink though. He was red because he didn't have no melanin in. He came out. That's how quote unquote white people look. They're actually red and pink. And they called his name Esau, and Esau means red and wasted away is he. And I believe how you say it in Hebrew, it's Ishashua. So We got these precepts. And what you saw this gentleman, this so-called Edomite man, this so-called white man who's an Edomite, and the other two adults that he was speaking to who are Edomites, this is what prophecy is saying that they're doing. So they shall make their own tongues to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. And that's what this is. That what you see happening, this is not a testimony to their righteousness. This is not them being righteous. Okay, this is them being
born to the year you're buried. They tell you need to get every year.
This is the Most High being showing his sovereignty, because if you notice, this man spoke for 20 fucking minutes, and all he did was he listed one crime against humanity after another, because that's what this is. He listed one lie against humanity after another for over 20 minutes straight without stopping, right? And who is he talking about? He was talking about Esau, Edom, and he also mentioned Moab, but Esau, Edom is the one that's behind this, right? And did he one time ever mention judgment? He's kind of giggling about it because he's kind of proud. He's like, yeah, I found out something, and that's cool. But did he mention judgment? Do they ever mention a type of judgment that they are worthy of whenever they expose themselves? No, they always talk about, well, we found this major horrible thing, and then they'll say like the government or the medical field is doing, when it's their race of people though. It's the Edomites, it's the so-called white man that's doing this. And they'll talk about, well, we got to vote, or we got to do something different. They never mention the fact that the people that they're exposing deserve judgment. And what does this scripture say that's going to happen to Esau because of the things he's done? And we'll pull up a couple more precepts and then we'll be done, because I know I'm already kind of over time. Let me see. Which one do I want to get? Look, let's do this. I'm just going to go into Isaiah 63. Oh, Salakia. I'm going to Isaiah 63, verses 1 through 2, or 1 through 4. Look, this is the judgment that's pronounced on this race of people, man, and they're worth it. They're worthy of it, man. So this is the Most High asking a question about his son. Who is this coming? That cometh from Edom, with dyed garments from Basra. Basra is the chief city of Edom. It's like if you go to California, LA, or if you go to New York, what are the two big cities in Texas? Dallas and Houston, right? That's what he's saying. Who is this coming from Houston, Texas? Or who is this coming from, some big Los Angeles, California, Hollywood, California? That's what this is saying. Who is this that cometh from Edom? He's coming from the nation of Edom, the race of people, and he's directly coming out of their chief city, Basra. This that is glorious in his apparel. So he's also describing how Yahushua is decked out, how he's dressed. He's dressed as a royal high priest, only begotten, firstborn son of the Most High, sent to establish or to sit upon the throne of King David, and to take down finally all these rulerships that have been allowed to rule. There's a lot compacted in this. Traveling in the greatness of his strength. What does this mean? He's in a chariot. He's in a warcraft. And that warcraft, you guys, is going to be what Esau calls a UFO. It's a UAP. It's a chariot, a whirlwind of fire. Okay? I that speak righteousness, mighty to save. Verse 2. Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel? Here again, he's saying it again. Why is your clothing soaked? Why are you bloodstained? Why are you covered in all this blood? This is a very violent scene. Wherefore art thou, but it's spoken poetically. Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel, and thy garments like him that treadeth in the wine fat. What does that mean? Well, if you understand what a wine fat is, it's a system, it's a machine and a system to crush grapes in the ancient world. And so when you would get in there and you're stomping around a bunch of Concord grapes, what do you think you're going to look like when you come out? There's going to be blood. It's going to look like blood splatter, but it's grape juice, right? And it stains clothing just like blood does, you guys. I have trodden, this is the response of Yahushua. This is the one that the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, how they have painted him in this robe with this long hair and this effeminate type of attitude as a white male, when he's actually a so-called black man, pissed off with woolly hair, with an afro, with woolly hair. He doesn't have long, flowing, fucking golden retriever hair. Verse 3, I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me, for I will tread them in mine anger, and trample them in my fury. And their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment. For the days of vengeance is in my heart, and the year of my redeem is come. Look, man, who thinks of sticking needles in babies and injecting them with cultured fucking Cocker Spaniel kidney cells, because Cocker Spaniel kidney cells are infected easier? Who injects them with elements that breaks down the blood-brain barrier? Who injects people with human fetal tissue in order to get you sick? Who had time to sit around and think of this stuff? There's only one person, you guys, and he's described in Scripture as the man of sin, and now he's being revealed. Let's pull that up, and I'm going to stop. But I mean, just who the fuck does that, man? For the sake of making money? It's not, you guys. It's not only to make money. It's to murder and kill Jacob. It's to touch Jacob, you guys, because everything they do is global. They spray the skies. They're GMOing everything. These vaccines, they test them out. They're sticking this stuff in everybody. They're trying to touch Israel, bro. Let me pull up. Oh, man, I just brain farted it. Salakia, hold on. Salakia, there it is. So this is 2 Thessalonians verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come first a falling away first that took place in 70 AD. We were scattered to the four corners of the earth. We lost our heritage. We lost our identity. We lost the name of Yahweh while Yahweh Shai. We went into slavery. We were re-educated violently and indoctrinated by this race of people. We were told we were black, African, Latinos, Native Americans. We were told the name of our Yahweh Shai was Jesus and that he looked like them. We were indoctrinated with Christianity, Catholicism, Islam, and Buddhism, and all kinds of other bullshit. And we're dead for 3 days and a half. And then Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai, kept keeping his word, began to wake up the elect. And that's in the process that we're at now. And so what? Now we are at the second paragraph of this. And the man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. Christianity, Esau, teaches this is one individual person, the so-called Antichrist, some supernatural one man that nobody seems to know. He's just going to show up one day and take control of the world. Yet, we see a specific race of people doing what the fuck they're doing. And he's talking about them like they always do. It's a lot of their own people. They speak the version of prophecy that they speak about.
Born to the year you're buried.
Is them telling on each other. The prophets go into detail about what prophecy says is going to happen to these motherfuckers. Because if you've noticed, all the so-called white people pointing out all the stuff about Esau, they have a genuine gripe. They're bringing out very good information, but none of them say any of this stuff. None of them say, let's go to Obadiah. Look what Obadiah says is going to happen to Esau. Obadiah, where you at? Obadiah 1. So look, this is just one page. Look, I was a Christian for my whole life. This is one page in the Bible. It's got 21 verses. It will take you 5 minutes to read. But do not let the smallness of this page of a book cause you to think it's weak. This entire prophecy and the rage of it is directed at one person, and guess who that is? I'm going to read the first verse. Look at this. The vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord God, concerning Edom. So look, just stop right there. That's what this is about, man. Concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from Yahweh, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. And that's what's happening now. Everybody is seeing this fucker. This is why they're going to turn off the internet. They're going to have to turn the internet off, because only true information about all the bad shit this specific race of people has done. Yes, you're going to get news on the internet about some dumb Jake, some so-called black man doing some dumb shit in Chicago, or doing shit we're not supposed to be doing. You're not supposed to do carjackings. You're not supposed to kill your baby mama on fucking Facebook Live. I'm not saying there are not people doing dumb shit. What's happening in the internet, though, is people are beginning to see just how much wickedness specific to Esau has been taking place. And he has never been talking about himself the way he's been talking about everybody else. And then people are seeing how the stuff that he does is on a global scale. When he's always talking about one dude over here in the neighborhood and one dude over here in the neighborhood, when he is in everybody's neighborhood. And 10 times, 1,000 times more. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee. Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Now this verse 4 is very telling. Though thou exalt thyself like the eagle, as the eagle, we know that their national bird is the eagle. It's on the dollar bill. It's on the quarter. It was on all the Roman coins. It's on their flag. That is their symbol. That is the Edomite symbol. It also goes into Russia, not Russia, Slovakia. It goes into France, Spain, Britain, Germany, all of them. They're Edomites. If these came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they have not stolen till they had enough? If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they have not left some grapes? How art the things of Esau searched out? And that's what's happening. He's being exposed. How are his hidden things sought out? All the men of that confederacy, and this goes into eventually the EU turning on them. But I'm going to stop with 18, because this is how this fucker's going to end. And my point of saying all this stuff is, when you see these guys,
they tell you need to get
talking about them. Look. I mean, he's presenting it with a smile. That's fine. I'm not hating on that. He's being jolly. But he spoke for 25 minutes, you guys.
Of your whole life.
Only vaccine.
It's the only one. Flu vaccines. Every year starting at 6 months old till you're buried.
So why?
So you're a baby being penetrated by fucking needles by this, because this race of people presented it. This is going to keep you healthy. And they were injecting this venom into us and everyone else this whole time, and just reaping the benefits of their deception in their lives. And everybody fucking trusts these people. And when you start talking shit about them, the people who are still under their spell, they get mad at you for talking about them. And this dude goes on for 25 minutes telling you about all the fucking shit this people are sticking in our bodies. There wasn't one mention of, I don't know, pomegranate juice, lime juice, or honey. There was nothing, some type of chlorophyll. There was nothing of any type of wholesome, natural herb, anything mentioned. It was all weird shit, man. Because Esau does a diligent search. He's wiser than Daniel on the left-hand side, and he's had time to study all this stuff in his wickedness. Verse 18, and I'm done. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire. That's talking about the Israelites. And the house of Joseph and the house of Joseph shall be a flame. And the house of Esau for stubble. So there goes to your northern and southern kingdom. Elect men of Israel, right? Burning down, devouring Esau. This is two races of people being mentioned. One is talked about as a fire, and the other is talked about as a stubble. This is a future prophecy. And they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house, of the race, of the government, of the family, of the nation of Esau. That's what house means. For Yahweh has spoken it. This is the difference between when we speak about Esau,
Great business model. Right.
Yeah.
and when Esau speaks about Esau. We are able to point out when Esau speaks about himself, because people will ascribe that they're being good because they're pointing out the bad things. No, They didn't mention no judgment. And so that's a false balance. Job 13:4. But they are forgers of lies, and they are physicians of no value. And because of that, they need to be punished, right? And they've had a sword, and they've killed people, mentioned in Revelations 6:4. And the first command I read that identifies them in Psalms 64:8. This is only what they are doing. So they shall make their own tongues to fall upon themselves. There's no mention of them having righteousness when they do this. They're not good because they're tattling on each other. Don't think, oh, he's doing good. No, he didn't go complete with this. It wasn't a full balance. He only mentioned what they did wrong. He didn't mention no punishment they deserve. They deserve punishment for that. Don't you guys agree? They deserve to be punished. They deserve to be violently
You need this
punished.
every single year.
Violently punished for this. And he doesn't mention that at all. The guy in the black shirt even says, I'm sick. I'm getting sick at this. You know what I mean? Like what you're saying, but no punishment. So they shall make their own tongues to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. I pray this lesson was edifying. I want to give double honors. I want to give all praise to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Kodash, and double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone of whom I learned from. And a shalom to the brothers who take this truth to the four corners of the earth, bidding the elect to the marriage supper of the Lamb, who is Yahushai. This is your brother Radah. Shalom.